I'm on the playground. My sister comes running to me. She says, Omar, there's this kid picking on me. Where is he? Where is he? He's over there on the playground. I run over to the playground, shoulders back, chest out, looked him right in the eye. And I said, stop messing with my sister. The kid punches me in the stomach, knocks the wind out of me. I drop to the ground. I can't breathe. I can't move. I've never been punched in the stomach in my life. I'm 8. Terrified. As soon as I can catch my breath, the only thing that I can think to do is to get up and run. And that moment would change my life forever. Because from that moment on, I would run. I would run away from everything and everyone that threatened me in my life. I stopped standing up for myself. For 8 years, what you see, what you saw, was this scared little kid. And so I remember my dad was kind of a bully. He kind of picked on me a little bit. He actually picked on me a lot. I hated going to school. I hated the other kids. I hated my dad. I hated myself. And what was starting to build inside of me was this anger and bitterness and resentment until I turned 16. And then things would change yet again. And I get handed my very first beer, 16 years old. And it all went away. The fear, the self-loathing, the sadness, the loneliness, the insecurity. It was gone. I was so happy. And I loved it. And I would go to parties and I would pick fights. And I remember waking up so many mornings, black eye, busted lip, blood all over me. And consequence after consequence I would have to face. Fights, embarrassing my friends, losing girlfriends, getting arrested for a DUI, waking up in jail. And this went on for 12 years before I moved to Costa Rica. In Costa Rica, that was the game changer. And I met the rocket fuel that same week of all that is confidence and power. Cocaine. And I loved it. I could reinvent myself. And I said, this is it. This is it for me. And I immediately started to live this double life because my girlfriend was not having it. I just met this girl and she was like, I don't want nothing to do with that drug lifestyle. So I had to lead this double life where I was a boyfriend during the day and as this rock star partier at night. For that first year, I kept it going. So then I asked her to marry me a year later. Oh, we're engaged. She's got to slow down now. I got worse. A year later, we finally got married. And I remember the conversation we had weeks after we got married and I was still out partying. She's like, we're married now. You're not supposed to do this anymore. I said, well, just because we got married doesn't mean that I signed up for all this. 6 months later, she gets pregnant. He's got to stop. I get worse. 4 months into the pregnancy, she's gone. See, it wasn't just about her anymore. It was about the baby. So at that moment in my life, I started losing everything. I was really sick. I was in a really bad place physically. A few months later, my daughter was born. And I remember that I was sitting in the delivery room and this nurse walks in with my daughter. She says, would you like to hold your daughter? I said, yes, please. And she puts this little angel in my arms. I knew in that moment I had a lot more than my daughter in my arms. And in that moment, I found God again. And I got down on my knees and I said, God, please help me. Please help me. I cannot stop doing drugs. I'm ruining my family. I'm ruining everything around me. And I just can't stop. So take me out of this world or help me get clean. I had a reason to live. I had purpose. And all of a sudden I had this vision in my mind. I had this vision of her being 16 years old, being in school, and her friends saying, "What does your dad do for a living?" And she says, "My dad died of a drug overdose. My dad's in jail." And I started to cry, and I was crying all over her. And I said, "God, help me. Help me. Help me make her proud of me. Help me be the man she deserves me to be." And this fire just ignited inside of me. And I had what many of us in recovery call a spiritual awakening. And I saw the picture of the therapist. I got up, I got dressed, and I drove to his office. I didn't call. I hoped that he would be there. I get there, and there he is. And I said, "I need help. I can't stop doing drugs. I need your help." He says, "I'm so glad you're back. Let me give you the directions to that meeting. It starts in an hour." I immediately drove to that meeting. I sat down, 5 other men, and I said, "My name's Omar. I'm an addict and I need help." And I started to work. I was all in. I got a sponsor a year into my recovery. I was sponsoring guys. I was all in. It was changing my life. My focus was clear. I knew what I had to do. Now, 3 years into my recovery is when I was doing my 9th step. For those of you that know what a 9th step is, where you make amends to the people you've harmed the most. And so it's time to make amends to my ex-wife. I still wanted her back. I mean, a big part of me was like, doing the work in hopes that maybe, she'd come back. So 3 years later, I show up and I say, "I'm here to make amends. I can't say I'm sorry for all the horrible things that I've done to you in our marriage and in our relationship." What I was staring at was the purest example of unconditional love that I had ever seen in my life. I didn't even know that existed. And I was staring at her. I said, "What are you thinking?" And she said, "I'm thinking that I hope that someday you can see yourself the way I see you. I hope that one day you can see how great you really are." We became best friends and partners in raising our daughter. My daughter only knows unconditional love. She's never seen us fight. This month, on May 26th, I celebrate 16 years clean and sober. What was I unwilling to let go of? You see, I thought I was holding on to the drugs and the alcohol, but what was I really holding on to? What was 8-year-old Omar holding on to? What I was holding on to was all the anger and bitterness and resentment from all the childhood bullying that happened to me in my life. 8 years of being picked on, bullied, and made fun of. I wanted justice. I wanted somebody to pay. Thank God justice never came, because if I had gotten the justice that I felt that I deserved in that moment when I prayed for death, I wouldn't be on this stage tonight. You see, justice was never going to heal me, but love did. Love healed me, and it continues to heal me today. If you're watching this right now, and you are holding on to something, desperately wanting to let go, then there's 3 things that I want you to do right now. Number 1, you got to let go. Let go of everyone and everything that does not serve you. Number 2, you got to go searching for love. You got to go looking for love. Go find it in your friends, in your family, in your coworkers. And number 3, ask for help. Be open, be honest, be vulnerable, but ask for help. The man that you see here standing here before you tonight is the hero of his own story. I am the hero of my own story. The legacy that I leave behind for my daughter is the hero's journey. What is the legacy that you want to leave behind? It is time to be the hero of your story.